So if you go to the website, which is www.getautoimmunestrong.com, you have access to what's designed as a 3-month strength building program. And it's designed both for someone whose autoimmune condition is so flared up that they can't move. It's also perfect for people who are over exercising and need to have some guidance into how to scale back. Basically, there are short instructional videos, like at the maximum, they're 15 minutes long, and they teach you about these different exercises that are very targeted. I work on core strength, I work on balance training, I work on flexibility, and I work on really focusing on deep stabilizing muscles. And then as you get through those sort of instructional videos, there are also then workout videos. So once you know how to do the moves, then you can just go to like the basic workout videos and get your workout in. The program is designed to progress upon itself. So you start with level 1, and then when you feel like you're ready, you go on to level 2, and it's the same as level 1, but just a little bit harder. And then there's level 3, which is just a little bit harder after that, because over time your body does adapt. And so in order for you to continue getting these really great changes happening in your body, you have to keep putting a teeny tiny little bit more of intensity on over a long period of time. Yeah, so that's kind of how it works. It's all online. And you can watch the videos any time of day, anywhere. You can get them on your phone. So some of my members do it, like if they're traveling, they do it in their hotel room. Some people like to do it at home. Other people like to go do it at the gym. It's kind of designed to fit your schedule. There's no, this is exactly how you must do it. It's self-guided.
Yeah, I find myself loving those kind of programs so much more now, just being home with kids, because it's so much easier just to turn it on in the living room versus going to the gym and having to figure out either taking the kids with me or finding a place for them to go. So I love that. I'm curious what kind of results you've seen, because like you said, it's not the traditional, you're not trying to get like shredded in 6 weeks or any of that. So I'm curious what the results look like.
The results are so fun and amazing, but they look very different than any kind of like traditional fitness program will advertise. So for example, one woman just, there's a private Facebook group for all of the people who are Autoimmune Strong members. And she just posted on there that she was finally able to sit and meditate without having pain in her legs. She didn't need to use anything to lift her body up to get herself back up off the floor, that she was able to just come out of her meditation and stand up. So that doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is such a big deal. Another woman was sharing a story that she has a lot of grandchildren, and she was able to play wiffle ball with them. She hasn't been able to do that ever. So these are like real life achievements. Another woman wrote that she was washing dishes without back pain. So these are like tangible real life improvements rather than, wow, my bicep is bulging. Although those results, I do get those results too. One woman in one of my small group coaching classes was just saying that because of all the abdominal bracing, she's feeling like her jeans are fitting in a looser way. And she can tell that a lot of, that her belly is slimmer, which is a happy side effect. But mostly what I hear is I have more energy. I'm able to go out and do what I need to do during the day without feeling exhausted. And I don't have as much pain in my body. Another typical thing that I hear is I wake up in the morning and I don't feel sore even before I get out of bed. So people are just generally feeling better in their bodies. And that's my goal. That's the stuff that brings me enormous amounts of pleasure.
For sure. I think that we'd probably all have a healthier outlook if that was the mindset we all had. And it's hard because I know it's easy to want to like focus on the exterior and the being toned and all that first. But like you said, when you start on the inside and like focus on those core muscles, which those are also linked to better health as you age, like so many benefits that you see the cascade kind of throughout your life. And also it teaches that thing which is the most elusive, I think, in health, which is the consistency and the actual implementing. And so like it builds that slowly over time in a way that's sustainable, because I think all these super fast, get fit quick programs are not sustainable. And then they basically create this cycle where you're learning to just give up when it gets hard, because it's not, you can't keep doing that.
Well, and I think that's really important. And I think what a lot of people are finding is that this program challenges them to learn how to pace themselves. And then they're finding that trickling down into their regular life. And I find this too. We have this, especially as a mom, right? A working mom, like this idea that we're always busy. When someone says like, Andrea, how are you? I'm like, oh my God, I'm so busy. And that's the story that we're telling in this like modern life, right? But doing everything fast and quick is not always the best thing. And so by having this program kind of challenge you to pace yourself, I've learned to pace myself in other parts of my life too. And I know that my members are feeling the same, is okay, maybe that is too much for me to say yes to today. So maybe I'm going to say no to that today. And maybe I'll put that off until tomorrow. And that's really hard work, like slowing down.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, like, if nothing else, maybe that's one shift all of us listening can start to make, because I think I've said that too over the years so much, like, how are you? Oh, I'm so busy. And busy is a choice. And I've heard people I really respect say, like, if you're busy, it's all about your priorities, and you're choosing to let yourself be busy. Certainly there's many more demands on us now than there ever have been, but maybe how much could we shift our mental health and our mindset if we would just respond to that with a different answer? Or find a way to respond to that with a different answer, find ways to become less busy. And you've mentioned your daily life a couple times. People who are high achievers, who are doing amazing things and staying healthy, I'm always so curious to ask, can you share, if you're comfortable, a little bit of what your daily life looks like and any kind of routines or tips that seem to really help you to thrive?
Yeah. So yes, my life is, very much well balanced now. It's taken a lot of work. One of the things that helps me out a lot is doing an enormous amount of food prep on Sunday nights. And I've found the foods that make me feel really satisfied and are also quick and easy. So I don't get that creative in the kitchen anymore because I know what works. But so I may, on weekends, I always make sure we have time to get my food. And on Sunday nights, I always carve out time to food prep so that during the week, I don't have to worry about dinners and I don't have to worry about feeding myself. I just, everything's kind of there and ready to go. So it's a little bit of work up front, but I do that by, I put on, like, right now I'm watching So You Think You Can Dance, and I watch So You Think You Can Dance while I'm doing my food prep. So it at least gets my TV time in with my cooking. And so it makes it more fun. So that's one tip. I mean, really, I just try to make sure that when I'm working and I'm focused. And when I'm with my kids, I'm with my kids. And that I've learned over time that, like, there's nothing that's so urgent that it can't wait. So there's a difference between urgent and important, right? So, like, I feel like I've always lived in this place of urgent, like, oh my God, if I don't do this right now, it's going to disappear. But that's not really true. If I don't answer this email and I spend like a half an hour sitting on the floor and playing Legos, I'm going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. So that's still a process for me that I'm learning. You asked specifically about my daily life though, and it looks like this. I get up in the morning. I usually get up before everybody else in my family, just because that's when I wake up. And so I lie in bed and I answer emails and I do and I kind of like take my social media time and I get kind of mentally ready for my day. And then I get up and I get my children ready for school or camp. And my husband travels a lot for work, so often I'm on my own. So my kids, I put a lot on my kids of saying, like, okay, I have a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old. And, like, the 10-year-old loves making his own breakfast and making his own lunch. Like, it makes him feel really empowered, and it allows me the space to do whatever it is that I need to do, like get dressed in the morning. So I get dressed and I help them out wherever they need it. And then I take them wherever they go. And then I get my workout in. So right now I am experimenting with CrossFit, but not in those CrossFit WODs. I'm just going and lifting kind of heavier weights than I've ever lifted in my whole life, and I feel amazing. And it's been such a great moment to feel powerful, like to feel like I can put 150 pounds on my back and lift it up. Like that carries me throughout the day of like, what else can I do? What else did I think I never would be able to do that now I can do? So I make sure I take my time for that. And then, I come home and I do my work. But the key to my work is that I usually try and I set aside 3 important things that I want to get done in the day. And if I happen to get through those 3 things, then I can move on and come up with the next 3 things. But I don't usually worry about the next 3 things until I've accomplished the first 3 things. So that just allows me to stay focused, because I used to be in a place where I would end the day being like, oh my gosh, I didn't get anything done. Now I go to bed at night feeling I've accomplished 3 things. So I feel positive rather than negative. And it's all helping with that self-talk, right? Like how we frame our days matters. So I try and keep it positive. And then, I try and incorporate some playtime with my kids, or at least like reading to them when they get home a little bit. But most of the time I'm shuttling them around to their after school activities, getting dinner on the table, getting showers and baths done, and getting them into bed. And then I do typically go back and do more work at night. I don't know if that was illuminating, but that's kind of, and I make sure I'm in bed no later than 10:30, because I find that the difference between 10:30 and 11 is very different in my brain. If I go to bed by 10:30, I will have a good night's sleep. If I go to bed by 11, I will be anxious and worried about all the things that I didn't get done. And that's not a good place for sleep. So I try and be in bed by 10:30. It's not a lot, like, there's not a lot of like, woohoo, I'm going out. There's not a lot of that. It's very regimented.
I'm the same way, and especially with sleep. For years, I've always been a night owl naturally, and it's taken me years to reform my brain to actually want to sleep early. And lately, we've been actually going to bed at like 9:30 or 10 some nights, and it's the best sleep ever. I think especially with autoimmune disease, we have to realize sometimes our bodies just need more rest, and I'll sleep like 9 hours some nights and still be up early because I went to bed so early, and it's awesome.
Yes. And isn't it nice when you wake up and nobody else is up and like the kids are still sleeping and it's just quiet and you can like gather your thoughts? I love that time.
Exactly. That was the mental shift for me, because I used to stay up at night because it was finally quiet. The kids were asleep and I would try to get everything done. And now I've shifted that. So I try to get up in the morning before the kids and get everything done. And so then by the time they wake up, I feel like I've already like conquered the day, and I've done my morning routine and I've gotten a couple things knocked off my to-do list, and breakfast is ready. And especially in summer right now, like they're running so much that they're so tired. Like they hit their pillow at 9 p.m. when it's finally dark outside and they are out. And so they're not waking up at 6 a.m. anymore. So I'm able to get so much more done. But I think that alone, like if all of us would just focus on getting a little more sleep, potentially a little earlier, it's absolutely life-changing. And I resisted it for years. This podcast is brought to you by Genexa, a company creating a new generation of over-the-counter medication that is cleaner, safer, and healthier. And here is what I mean. They have a line of over-the-counter medicines and homeopathics that are all organic and non-GMO verified, extensively tested, and free of allergens, dyes, and harmful additives. The company was created by 2 dads with a mission to find healthier products for their families. Genexa has natural sleep aids, pain relief topical gel, saline drops, heartburn remedies, and so much more. You can check out their whole line at genexa.com/wellnessmama. That's GENEXA.com/wellnessmama, and use the code WELLNESS, all capital, for 20% off of your order. This episode is brought to you by Mother Dirt. Are you too clean? Modern hygiene has led us to believe that all bacteria is bad, but bacteria are natural, and ecosystems would crumble without bacteria. Just like our gut needs good bacteria, the same goes for our skin. We used to all get enough good bacteria through contact with dirt and nature, but many of us miss out on this in the modern world. Mother Dirt's AO Plus Mist restores the good bacteria on the skin that has been washed away by modern products. It contains a patented ammonia oxidizing bacteria, or AOB, that works by consuming the ammonia in your sweat